For 25 years, the death of Princess Diana was blamed on paparazzi chasing her car in Paris, although the investigation proved that the photographers did not violate the rules and did not create an emergency situation. However, fans of conspiracy theories have more alarming versions. For example, Diana's pregnancy or inaction of doctors. Let's analyze everything in order. Leading British forensic pathologist Robert Shepherd told what really killed Princess Diana. The pathologist took part in the investigation into the death of Lady Di. According to him, there are no white spots in this case. The specialist recalled that Diana received only a few fractures and a small injury to the chest. Medics who arrived at the scene of the accident decided that the security guard who was sitting in the front seat suffered much more severely, and it is he who first of all needs help. At the same time, Diana was conscious and talking to them. The ambulance workers, as Robert Shepherd specified, did not even recognized the princess and considered her condition stable, writes one of the publishers.
But no one knew about a small vein tear in one of her lungs. Anatomy is such that this area is hidden deep in the central part of the chest cavity,
the expert said. As different sources write, already in the ambulance Diana lost consciousness, and only in the hospital the vein rupture was discovered. It was tried to sew up, but it was not.
No, they did not try. The ambulance staff considered her condition stable, but no one knew about a small vein rupture in one of the lungs. Human anatomy is such that this area is hidden deep in the central part of the chest cavity. The pressure in the veins, of course, is not as great as in the arteries. Blood flows out of them much more slowly, so slowly that it is even more difficult to detect a problem and fix it. Already in the ambulance, she lost consciousness. Already in the hospital, they found a torn vein and tried to sew it up. Unfortunately, it was too late. She died because of a microtrauma, a hidden, invisible microtrauma.
The expert explained, there is no single cause of the accident, as each of the following versions has a different meaning. Many conspiracy theories have been spawned by Princess Diana's own belief that she was being targeted for assassination. As evidence, a letter that Lady Di gave to her butler Paul Burrell for safekeeping was made public.
October, I sit here at my desk today and long for someone to give me a hug, an encouragement to keep my spirits up and my head held high. This particular phase of my life is the most dangerous. An accident is planned that will happen to my car. The brakes will fail and I will suffer a serious head injury. This will clear the way for Charles to marry.
The letter read, Diana was really worried about her safety, and especially about the condition of her vehicles, because her car was not always in good working order. Shortly before writing the letter, the princess's bodyguard had died in an accident that she believed had been provoked by the British authorities. Dodi Al-Fayed's father, businessman Mohammed Al-Fayed, was convinced Princess Diana was pregnant by his son, but British authorities could not allow this course of events. The royal family could not accept that an Egyptian Muslim could become the stepfather of the future King of England. The Independent quoted Mohammed Al-Fayed as saying, therefore, the establishment allegedly decided to assassinate Lady Di. Talks about a possible pregnancy of the princess appeared a few weeks before the death of Diana during her vacation with her boyfriend in France. After the autopsy of the body, the pregnancy was not confirmed, and blood tests proved the same. A new documentary series, Investigating Diana, Death in Paris, which was released on the British Channel 4 on the eve of the 25th anniversary of the princess's death, is based on the theory that the car accident was allegedly caused by a white Fiat Uno car. It may have clipped the car with Diana, causing it to hit a pole and flip over. According to French investigators, eyewitnesses that night spotted a white Fiat Uno driving out of a tunnel with its driver focused on the rearview mirrors. Traces of white paint were later found on the mangled Mercedes. Fabrice Cuvillier, a spokesman for the Paris Crime Brigade, claimed at the same time that the Fiat Uno really existed in the materials and was not a duck for the police to divert eyes. In my opinion, the only door that remains open is the testimony of the driver of the Fiat Uno. Sky News quoted his colleague Eric Jagu as saying, the investigation revealed that the owner of the car was French photographer James Anderson, who had photographed Princess Diana and Dodi Al-Fayed shortly before their deaths. He turned out to be uninvolved in the tragedy, but died a year later in mysterious circumstances, which were considered a suicide. According to supporters of the conspiracy theory, the driver Henri Paul was not only the head of security at the Paris Ritz Hotel, but was also in cahoots with the secret services of France or Great Britain or both countries. According to their version, Paul deliberately provoked the accident and was not drunk at the time of the collision. Information about his drunken state was allegedly deliberately spread in the media to cover up the murder, and at the scene of the accident, his body was replaced by the body of another person. Many believe this version is plausible because Paul did not look drunk when he left the Ritz Hotel in the company of Diana, Al-Fayed, and their security guard, and there was a lot more money in his accounts than the police thought. Supporters of this theory are convinced that if Princess Diana had been taken to hospital immediately, instead of receiving first aid on the spot, she could have survived. However, in France, ambulance crews are required by law to provide the injured person with maximum assistance at the scene of the accident, while in the UK, they try to bring the person to a medical facility more quickly. As the British police noted in the Operation Paget report, there is no evidence of a conspiracy by medics not to help Diana. In addition, it is impossible to say whether Diana would have survived if she had been taken to the hospital immediately. In any case, the doctors stated that the injuries sustained were incompatible with life. Diana was still alive after the accident, but was in critical condition. According to British media, she suffered a concussion, a broken arm, and extensive chest injuries. The princess was taken to Petit-Salpêtrière Hospital, and doctors performed a 2-hour surgery, but she never regained consciousness. She died of internal bleeding at 4:53 a.m. on August 31st, 1997. Thank you for watching. Subscribe to the channel and give us your likes. Also see the previous video about the legendary Boeing hijacker.